Welcome, beautiful damsels. Do not mistake her silence for submission. She's simply calculating your irrelevance. The Sigma female moves through life with a quiet force, unseen but deeply felt. She's not the one to seek the spotlight, yet her presence demands attention. What most fail to understand is that provoking her isn't just unwise, it's dangerous. Why? Because while others react, she observes. And when she does respond, it's never in the way you expect. Here's a fact. Studies show that people who remain calm under pressure are often the ones who hold the most power in any social dynamic. And that's exactly what defines a Sigma female, her ability to remain composed, unreadable, and 2 steps ahead. When you provoke her, you're not just poking at another person, you're tapping into a reservoir of psychological depth that will leave you questioning your own motives. This is why you should think twice before provoking a Sigma female, because the game you're playing is one she's already mastered. Number 1, you'll reveal your own insecurities. When you try to provoke a Sigma female, what you may not realize is that you're not triggering her. You're exposing yourself. Your attempts to stir her up don't make her lose composure. Instead, they reveal your insecurities. Sigma females have a unique way of remaining centered in their own identity. They don't need validation from anyone, and that's what makes them untouchable. They don't react emotionally because they've already achieved a level of self-assurance that transcends the petty games people often play to feel powerful. What happens instead is that your efforts to provoke her highlight the gaps in your own confidence. The more you push, the more obvious it becomes that you're the one seeking attention, validation, or control. You might think you're rattling her cage, but in reality, you're showcasing your own emotional neediness. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? To realize that in trying to expose her weaknesses, you've put a spotlight on your own. The Sigma female doesn't need to tell you this outright. She doesn't need to respond with anger or frustration. Her calm, unbothered demeanor is enough. Her silence becomes a mirror, reflecting back everything you're trying to hide about yourself. She doesn't need to play mind games. She lets you defeat yourself, and that's the thing most people don't anticipate. They come into the situation thinking they're going to provoke a reaction, only to walk away feeling more vulnerable than when they started. You're left with the uncomfortable truth. The weakness you were trying to expose was never hers. It was yours all along. Number 2, she thrives in chaos. You don't. A Sigma female doesn't just survive in chaotic situations. She thrives. While most people panic or lose control when things start to get messy, she becomes sharper, more focused. Chaos isn't something that rattles her. It's an environment where she excels. When you try to provoke her, thinking you'll throw her off balance, you're actually giving her the perfect stage to show just how resilient and mentally tough she is. Here's the reality. While you're trying to stir the pot, she's not fazed. Conflict, tension, unpredictability, these don't weaken her. They fuel her. She uses those moments of disorder to grow stronger, to refine her thinking, and to build even more resilience. That's the thing about Sigma females. Their strength is forged in adversity. Where others see chaos as a threat, she sees it as an opportunity to test herself, to push her limits, and to come out even more unshakable. On the flip side, the more chaos you create, the more likely it is that you'll unravel. Chaos is unpredictable, and when you try to provoke someone like her, you're not playing in your comfort zone anymore. You're dealing with someone who doesn't need stability to stay grounded. She's already grounded within herself. While you're trying to find your footing in the storm you've created, she's calmly navigating through it, gaining strength with every step. In the end, you're not destabilizing her. You're destabilizing yourself. She's just watching you flounder, using the very situation you tried to control to her advantage. You walk away drained, frustrated, and wondering why your attempts to provoke her only left you feeling more off balance than when you started. Number 3. Her comeback is psychological, not emotional. When a Sigma female responds, it's never with impulsive emotion. It's calculated, deliberate, and devastatingly precise. She doesn't lash out or lose her cool. Instead, she dissects the situation with a razor-sharp mind, identifying the exact pressure points to hit. Provoking her won't get you a loud, angry reaction. It will get you something far more unsettling. a psychological response that's been carefully crafted to expose your weaknesses. Her comeback isn't fueled by anger or frustration. In fact, her emotions are often completely detached from her actions. She'll make a move that seems almost casual, but it will be perfectly timed and aimed directly at the heart of your insecurity. You won't even realize what's happening at first. Maybe it's a comment that cuts through your facade, or a simple decision to withdraw her attention altogether, leaving you to wrestle with your own thoughts. She strikes where you least expect it, and by the time you feel the impact, it's already too late to retaliate. What makes her response even more unnerving is the calm with which she delivers it. While you might be gearing up for a confrontation, she remains level-headed, and her attack is psychological, not emotional. You're left wondering how she managed to get under your skin so effortlessly while she remains completely unfazed. This ability to turn a situation on its head is what sets Sigma females apart. They don't waste energy on emotional outbursts. They prefer to let their intellect do the talking. When she finally responds to your provocation, it's not to meet you on your level. It's to show you that the game you thought you were playing is something she's already mastered. And by then, the damage is done. Number 4, she'll use your energy against you. When you try to provoke a Sigma female, she doesn't waste her energy fighting back directly. Instead, she uses your own force against you, much like a martial artist who redirects an opponent's attack. The harder you push, the more she steps aside and lets your own aggression work against you. She doesn't need to engage in a head-on clash because she understands how to manipulate the energy of a situation, turning it in her favor without breaking a sweat. What makes this so effective is that you don't see it coming. You expect resistance, a pushback, something that gives you the satisfaction of a confrontation, but instead you find yourself swinging into thin air. A Sigma female isn't interested in matching aggression with aggression. She knows that the real power comes in deflection, letting your own actions lead to your downfall. It's not just that she avoids conflict, it's that she controls the outcome by refusing to react the way you expect. This ability to use your own energy against you leaves you frustrated and off balance. Every move you make becomes counterproductive. You think you're gaining control by provoking her, but all you're doing is expending your own emotional resources. You get caught in a cycle of overexerting yourself while she remains calm, detached, and completely unaffected. You're the one who ends up feeling exhausted while she's standing on the sidelines, quietly observing your efforts with an almost amused detachment. In the end, it's not the Sigma female who suffers from your provocation. You're the one who walks away, drained, confused, and wondering how you managed to lose a fight you thought you started. She doesn't have to defeat you. You defeat yourself by trying to take her on. Number 5, you'll end up exposed while she remains a mystery. When you try to provoke a Sigma female, you end up exposing more about yourself than you ever intended. She doesn't respond in predictable ways, and that's where things get tricky. While you might throw emotional punches, she remains a mystery, giving you little to nothing in return. It's unsettling because she doesn't allow you to see how or if your actions have affected her. You're left wondering if you even got a reaction at all, which only makes you push harder, revealing your own vulnerabilities in the process. A Sigma female knows that the best way to maintain control is to give away as little of herself as possible. She's mastered the art of staying emotionally neutral, refusing to hand over the power of a reaction. This leaves you in the uncomfortable position of having laid all your cards on the table while she hasn't even shown hers. You might raise your voice, try different tactics, but she's not playing the same game. She doesn't need to, because the more you push, the more you expose your own emotional landscape. Your insecurities, frustrations, and anxieties come spilling out while she remains an enigma. In a confrontation, most people want to see the other person crack, to get that satisfying moment of breaking through their defenses. With a Sigma female, you never get that moment. She stays composed, holding on to her mystery, while you're the one left feeling stripped bare. It's a strange kind of power she holds, not by dominating you, but by refusing to engage on your terms. By the time the interaction is over, you realize that you've revealed far more than she ever has. She's still an unsolved puzzle, and you're left picking up the pieces of your own exposed weaknesses. It's not her who ends up vulnerable, it's you. Number 6. Her exit is her power. When a Sigma female decides you're not worth her time, she leaves completely. No drama, no long explanations, just a quiet exit that says more than any argument could. Her ability to walk away is her ultimate power because nothing unnerves someone more than being completely ignored, especially when they were hoping for a reaction. By disappearing, she takes away the very thing most people want in a confrontation: validation, attention, or closure. This exit isn't just a physical departure, it's an emotional one. She mentally checks out long before she actually leaves, and once she's done, there's no going back. While most people engage in back-and-forth battles, looking for resolution or control, the Sigma female knows that the most powerful move is to remove herself entirely. It's not about proving a point to anyone else, but about preserving her own peace and not wasting energy on situations she finds pointless. And that's what makes her so formidable. You don't get to drag her into a war of words or emotions. When she's done, she's done. The impact of her exit is profound. You're left standing in the void she's created, grappling with your own frustration because you can't provoke someone who simply chooses not to engage. There's no satisfaction in trying to provoke someone who's already moved on. The absence of her attention becomes the most stinging blow. You're left chasing closure, but she's long past caring, and that leaves you stranded in the situation you tried to control. In the end, her silence and her exit make the loudest statement. The more you realize she's gone for good, the more you're left to deal with the fallout of your own actions, all while she's moved on, unbothered, and free from the drama you tried to create. Number 7. She holds the upper hand in detachment. One of the most powerful traits of a Sigma female is her ability to detach. While others get caught up in emotional reactions, social pressures, and the need to prove themselves, she has mastered the art of stepping back. Detachment is her superpower, and it's what allows her to navigate provocations without getting pulled into the emotional chaos. When you try to provoke her, expecting to rile her up or get a reaction, you're met with a calm indifference that throws you off completely. Her detachment doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she chooses where to invest her energy. She won't waste time on pointless drama or people who aren't worth it. While others might feel the need to defend themselves or fight back, she understands that emotional engagement is a form of power transfer. The more you react to someone, the more control you give them over your mental and emotional state. A Sigma female refuses to give anyone that kind of control. This ability to stay detached puts her in a position of quiet strength. While you may be losing your cool or trying to draw her into an argument, she's already made the decision that it's not worth her time. And that decision alone leaves you scrambling. You're left questioning why she's so unbothered, and that only intensifies your frustration. In trying to provoke her, you end up in a one-sided battle where you're the only one affected. Her detachment is intimidating because it signals a level of self-mastery that most people can't achieve. It's not that she's cold or emotionless, it's that she's selective about what gets her attention. By staying detached, she remains in control, leaving you feeling powerless and irrelevant. The more you push, the more you realize you're fighting a losing battle. Number 8. She elevates through self-mastery. A Sigma female's strength comes from one key thing. She has mastered herself. This self-mastery is what allows her to stay calm in the face of provocation. She knows herself so well that external triggers don't throw her off course. Her confidence isn't loud or boastful. It's internal, rooted in a deep understanding of who she is and what she's capable of. When someone tries to provoke her, she doesn't flinch because she's already done the work to understand her own vulnerabilities. You can't use her weaknesses against her. She's already faced them head-on. What sets her apart is that she's put in the time to know her own mind and emotions inside out. She's not afraid to confront her flaws, and because of that, she's not easily shaken by anyone else's opinions or attacks. When you try to get under her skin, you're playing a losing game because she's already dealt with her own inner demons. There's nothing you can say or do that she hasn't already prepared for mentally. Her response is always measured, and it's that control over herself that keeps her steps ahead of everyone else. While most people react emotionally when provoked, she remains in full command of her reactions. This isn't because she's suppressing her emotions, but because she's learned how to channel them effectively. You might come at her expecting a typical emotional outburst, but what you get instead is a level of calm and control that's unnerving. Her self-mastery means that she chooses how and when to respond, never giving anyone the satisfaction of seeing her lose control. In the end, provoking her only reveals her strength. She's not easily rattled because her power comes from within. The more you try to push her, the more it becomes clear that she's already won the battle within herself, leaving you with nothing to work with. Number 9. She forces you to confront your own darkness. When you try to provoke a Sigma female, you might think you're just playing a game, but what you're really doing is inviting a deep exploration of your own psyche. Her presence is powerful, almost magnetic, and it holds a mirror up to your unresolved issues and insecurities. Rather than becoming your target, she becomes your catalyst for self-reflection, pushing you to confront aspects of yourself that you may prefer to keep hidden. Her calm and unyielding demeanor forces you to face your darkness, the parts of yourself that you often ignore or deny. In a world where most people react with anger or frustration, she remains composed, letting you wrestle with your emotions. While you might expect her to engage with your provocations, she instead stands back, allowing the weight of your own behavior to settle on your shoulders. It's disconcerting, to say the least. You came in looking to rattle her, yet it's you who ends up feeling rattled. The Sigma female's ability to reflect your own internal struggles back at you is what makes her so formidable. She doesn't need to shout or argue. Her presence alone speaks volumes. The uncomfortable truth is that her strength lies not just in her ability to withstand your provocations, but in her capacity to illuminate your weaknesses. She forces you to ask difficult questions. Why are you trying to provoke her? What are you really trying to achieve? By the time the interaction ends, you might find yourself feeling more disturbed by your own actions than by her calmness. This confrontation with your inner darkness is unsettling, leading you to reconsider your motivations and the emotions driving your actions. Ultimately, the encounter reveals that it's not about her, it's about you. You walk away not with a sense of victory, but with the heavy realization that the battle you sought to win was a reflection of your own internal struggles laid bare by someone who refuses to engage in your games. Number 10. Her silence is not weakness, it's a strategy. When you provoke a Sigma female, her silence speaks volumes. Unlike the typical response you might expect, an immediate reaction or emotional outburst, she takes a step back. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a powerful strategy. In those moments of silence, she's not just processing what you've thrown at her. She's observing, analyzing, and calculating her next move with meticulous precision. Her calm demeanor allows her to take in the situation from all angles. While others might rush to defend themselves or retaliate, she recognizes that sometimes the most potent response is to remain silent. This is her way of filtering out unnecessary noise, focusing on what truly matters. If you're trying to provoke her, you might find that your words fall flat in the face of her thoughtful introspection. This delay in response isn't about indecision, it's about maintaining control. The longer she holds her silence, the more power she wields. In the heat of the moment, you might find yourself second-guessing your actions, questioning whether you've pushed too hard or gone too far. That uncertainty can be unsettling, and it gives her the upper hand. You may have thought you could provoke a reaction, but instead, you've left her with the space to decide if you're even worth her time. If she chooses to stay quiet, it's a clear message. You may have already lost. You're the one engaged in a frantic dance of provocation, while she stands back, calmly assessing the situation. When she finally does respond, it will be with calculated words that cut deep, making you realize that her silence was never an absence of strength, but a demonstration of her strategic prowess. In the game of emotional dynamics, her silence can become the most powerful weapon of all, turning the tables and leaving you reeling from your own provocations. In a world where emotional games and provocations are commonplace, The Sigma female stands out as a force of nature, unyielding and self-assured. Her ability to remain unfazed while provoking deeper self-reflection in others is not just a testament to her strength, but also a profound reminder of the importance of self-awareness. When you try to rattle her, you quickly realize that you're not just engaging with a person. You're confronting your own unresolved issues and insecurities. She holds up a mirror that reflects the parts of yourself that you might prefer to ignore, challenging you to examine your motivations and behavior. By navigating her life with such poise and detachment, the Sigma female teaches us that true power lies in knowing oneself and not being swayed by the chaos around us. It's a lesson that transcends mere provocation. It's about harnessing inner strength, emotional intelligence, and the ability to walk away from situations that don't serve us. So, the next time you think about provoking a Sigma female, remember that the real confrontation is with yourself. Are you ready to face your own shadows? If you found this exploration intriguing and enlightening, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content that dives deep into the extraordinary facets of human behavior and personal growth. Join our community as we unravel these insights together. Let's journey down this path of self-discovery, one video at a time. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.